Once upon a time, life seems picture perfect for former swimsuit model Summer Chadwick and fiancé Clint Horvat.
They were a perfect match.
She found the one that she wanted to spend her life with.
He was just head over heels in love with her, and everything was going great.
But less than a year later, their plans for a bright future end violently.
This can't be happening. This only happens to other people.
I was in shock. Who would do this?
It was so deliberate and so cold. This was a case that you just couldn't wrap your mind around.
For this couple, the honeymoon is over. In Putnam County, Florida, Summer Chadwick basks in the love of her brand new fiancé, Clint Horvat.
Finally, it seemed like everything was coming together so good for Summer. She was at a very happy point in her life.
She was very happy when she got engaged. She felt very complete, very happy.
So, I want to get married on a beach exactly like this one.
The 36-year-old former beauty queen and single mom is already envisioning their wedding day.
Right here. And the pastor's gonna have his back towards the water, so that way we can be facing it when we say our vows.
She always wanted to get married on the beach.
Won't it be amazing?
She would have all of her family and friends.
Clint, a 31-year-old mechanic and single dad, is the man she wants by her side.
Clint was the missing piece of the puzzle, and finally she was going to have her family.
He told me that she was the one. Clint just actually come out of his shell when him and Summer got together. He was definitely in love with this woman.
From the moment they met, there was a chemistry neither one could deny.
They both had a good sense of humor, and they could make each other laugh. They loved each other so much.
They know they'll have a long future full of happiness together. But 10 months later, those romantic dreams are smashed to pieces.
911, do you have an emergency?
My girlfriend just got shot.
Okay.
Please hurry, please. My girlfriend's bleeding real bad, man.
Just before 3 p.m. on December 12, 2008, a panicked Clint Horvat calls Putnam County 911.
She made a struggle, and he shot her right dead.
He stated that they were on their way to Gainesville. They had stopped on the side of the road, and that his girlfriend had been shot in the face.
Okay, where are you at?
They're in a rural area, far away from the nearest hospital, and Summer is bleeding badly. The dispatcher rushes to locate them, just as Clint stumbles upon a miracle.
There's an ambulance right in front of me. I'm going to speed up, and I'm going to try to catch him.
The chance of an ambulance driving by in this location of Putnam County was very, very rare. The nearest fire station was several miles away. Mr. Horvat was very lucky.
He was almost hysterical, wanting the, medical attention for her immediately. Help me, help me, help her.
Will Summer survive? Clint can only look on in horror as his love fights for her life. A life that began more than 3 decades earlier in Pennsylvania. Summer is full of sugar and spice from the very start.
She was such a sweet, good little girl, a perfect child.
Summer started dancing when she was 3 years old. She took tap and ballet and jazz. She really did love it.
When she's 7, her parents divorce.
She lived with me, and her brother lived with Dad.
Despite life's big changes, Summer excels. She gets straight A's, becomes an accomplished dancer, and even does some bikini modeling. After college, Summer spends years dating the wrong men and trying to figure out her place in life. But a brief fling in her 30s changes everything.
She found out she was pregnant, and we were just thrilled. We were both so thrilled.
She had the baby and moved with her mom to be in Florida. She just wanted to start all over, make new friends.
She was just a sweet, kind, loving mother. Loved her little boy. She was just very, very affectionate.
And so for Summer, motherhood was actually the greatest gift to her. It created really positive changes in her through nurturing. Motherhood made her become more responsible, more creative. She had a new focus.
But the one thing she's still searching for is the loving husband and father to complete her perfect little family. Clint Horvat grows up in the small town of Bostwick, Florida. His father works for the school board. His mother drives the local school bus.
As a kid, he was kind of quiet. He wasn't really outgoing as far as hanging out and doing what the rest of us did.
In his teens, Clint's parents divorce, and his mom leaves. Clint is devastated.
Having been abandoned by his mother can create major attachment anxiety. He would have a really hard time feeling secure and safe in a relationship.
Still, Clint grows up into a wonderful young man.
He didn't drink, he didn't do drugs. He was just a straight-up nice guy to be around. He definitely had a heart of gold. I mean, there was nothing that Clint wouldn't do for you if you asked him. He'd give you the shirt off his back.
Unfortunately, you know what they say about nice guys when it comes to getting the girl.
Clint really didn't date much at all. He was just a homebody and pretty much stayed to himself.
It's really common for people who have suffered like Clint did to not trust women to the point of just checking out and not dating.
Instead, Clint throws his passion into working with his hands.
Get it started, man.
I'll get it started.
Yeah?
Clint was working on cars. He was doing side work, body and painting, and mechanics.
And that's when everything seems to fall in line for Clint.
No,
Good shot.
really?
Good shot.
It's not gonna work. That's it, man. It's not gonna work. Oh, go, man! Come on. Woo! All right.
He meets a girl, marries, and becomes a father to twins.
I've never known Clint to really be into girls until he met his wife. I was actually kind of shocked about that.
Although the marriage doesn't last, Clint and his ex remain close. They share custody of the twins and even live next door to each other.
Bye, kids. Love you.
Clint tries dating again, but can't seem to find the right woman. Then one day, fate steps in when Clint's ex-wife introduces him to her friend, Summer.
This is Summer. She's
Hi.
taking parenting. Sorry.
That's okay. Very nice to meet you, Summer.
They just kind of hit it off. He really just saw something in her he really liked, and he asked her out for dinner. Finally, she said, all right, we'll go out to dinner. We'll see how it goes from there.
That night, the chemistry is instant.
She said he's very pleasant and thought he was a very nice guy.
You make me laugh. Very calm.
Summer can already feel a special connection between them.
But, thank you so much. I've had a great time tonight.
Yeah, me too. It's been really wonderful. Thanks for inviting me.
It seems this couple has finally found their perfect match. But now that bond is torn apart as Summer clings to life. Paramedics rush her to a hospital in Gainesville. But unfortunately, Clint can't go with his fiancé.
Show me exactly where the scene is, okay?
Mr. Horvat was asked to stay and assist law enforcement with identifying where the crime had occurred.
Clint was very important because we knew he was an eyewitness to the crime, and so they wanted to get everything that they could from him while it was fresh in his mind. He was upset, but he was very cooperative.
Clint will do what he can to help police. They have to find the shooter. Clint Horvat takes police to the stretch of highway where his fiancée Summer Chadwick was shot during a roadside robbery.
Upon arrival to the scene, he began to explain to law enforcement what had happened. Clint was heading to Gainesville to go Christmas shopping with Summer.
So I was thinking that we should get the kids bikes for Christmas.
Bikes? That's a great idea.
Yeah, I really think.
They were driving a vehicle that was borrowed from a friend of his.
Hey, I think I know that guy.
Based on Summer's request, they pulled over to see if that person needed assistance. And Summer had rolled her window down, and they were robbed. Clint does a U-turn very quickly and heads in the opposite direction, trying to look for assistance.
Do you have any idea who it was?
No, I've never seen him before in my life.
A desperate Clint gives police a very clear description of the shooter.
Clint describes the black male as approximately 6 foot tall, dark complected, with a pox on his face. He said he's wearing some type of hoodie, dark hoodie sweatshirt.
Clint also vividly remembers the gunman's truck.
He described the truck as a red pickup truck, old and dirty looking. There was no tailgate. He remembers seeing trash and beer cans in the back of the bed of the pickup truck.
Police spring into action.
Law enforcement believed that they would be able to catch this person pretty quickly. They were optimistic.
But as Summer fights for survival, Clint's optimism is hard to maintain. He can't believe just 2 years earlier, their blossoming romance was supposed to last forever.
She was excited about everything being with him. It was a man that was accepting her, made her feel loved.
She really liked the fact that he didn't drink. He really loved his children a lot, and that showed he was a pretty good dad.
He knows how to make Summer feel special, too.
He was very good to her. He was buying her things.
What's that?
He'd take her anywhere she wanted to go.
I don't know, what is it?
I got you something.
He knew how lucky he was to have a lady like that.
Do you like them?
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Me too.
They'd go out to dinner and spend a lot of time together. Whatever she wanted or needed, he provided for her.
Yeah? Pretty as me?
He treated her like a princess.
You like them?
She was really falling in love with him.
You're welcome.
Summer and Clint were opposites in that she was maybe a little more outgoing, he was more quiet. But they shared this sort of need for stability. He was a stable, blue-collar worker, clean-cut guy. She, through motherhood, became very, very responsible and stable. So maybe this was a chance to create the stability that both of them craved.
And before long, the romantic dates become a family affair.
They started talking about things they could have the children do together. He got to know her son, and she got to know his twins.
Let's face it, being a single mother is no cakewalk. It's really hard to be a mother and a father, a protector and a provider and a nurturer. To have a man who not only had an interest in your child, but was willing to create a bond, that would be very important to Summer.
Go show him how it's done.
The more time Summer and Clint spend together, the closer they get.
After a short period, she felt like he was the one, and she was going to get married to him and finally have a husband that she felt really loved her.
He told me he had met his soulmate and that he was really in love. He was very excited, more outgoing than I've ever seen Clint. She brought out everything in him.
On Valentine's Day 2008, after more than a year of dating, Clint takes Summer away for a romantic weekend at a seaside bed and breakfast in St. Augustine.
This is beautiful.
Summer, I love you more than anything in this world.
He said, I'd love to marry you and spend the rest of my life with you. And he told her how much he loved her so much and how beautiful she was and what a sweet person she was. And he thought she would be good for his children.
Will you marry me?
Yes.
She was just thrilled. That's the happiest I've seen her in a long time.
The engagement, I think, can sometimes be more exciting than the wedding. It is the moment where you realize this love is going to be consummated, it's going to be committed, it's going to last a very long time.
Summer immediately begins planning their wedding.
I was really excited to be a part of her wedding and to be there for her and witness her make a vow to someone that she was really in love with.
Clint seemed very happy. He asked me if I would be a part of his wedding, and I told him of course I would.
Won't it be amazing?
But their dreams of a happy future have now become a nightmare. Police scour the crime scene, searching for any clues to the gunman's identity.
We were looking at the tire tracks, which corroborated Clint's story. We were also looking for possible evidence that might have been thrown out by either the suspect and/or dropped by the victim as well.
They looked for possible suspects. Perhaps there were other similar robberies.
Law enforcement looked at, can we get anything from a recent shooting, or even maybe not so recent, but of something of the same MO.
As police search, Clint receives crushing news from the hospital. Summer didn't make it.
No. I'm sorry.
Clint and Summer's families are utterly heartbroken.
He was devastated by losing the woman of his dreams.
It's like I went into another dimension somewhere. I was in total shock. I thought, this can't be happening. This only happens to other people. It takes you a while to believe it really can happen to you. I'm sorry.
She was so sweet. Who would do this? Why would they do this?
At that time, the investigation churned from a robbery with a shooting to a robbery with a homicide.
Police in Florida hunt for the man who fatally shot Summer Chadwick in a robbery gone wrong.
Law enforcement canvassed the entire area where the incident had occurred, talking to locals, talking to people that drive that road on a regular basis.
Although Summer's fiancé Clint is grief-stricken, he does what he can to help.
Clint agreed to speak to the local news media outlets. He gave the description of the black male suspect and also the events as they occurred that afternoon.
Oh my God, yes, it was a blur. The only thing I knew to do was tell her that I love her. It's hard, you know, it's very hard because your loved one just got shot in the head. You know, you watch her face fall down to her chest.
He conveyed a message that he wanted to find the killer over and over again.
Call in, don't be afraid, because if you know the individual and you don't call in, you're just as guilty as him pulling the trigger.
During the investigation, Clint was always right there with us, coming to the office and checking in, calling on a regular basis. He became a part of the investigation team.
Clint went into action. This was a man who was determined to find the killer. He was determined to figure out who could have created this tragedy for him.
Thanks for coming down.
Lucky for police, Clint is a valuable eyewitness. He and a sketch artist put together a composite of the shooter.
He was dark, he was black male. He was wearing a hoodie. It was zipped up and the hood was kind of, it wasn't all the way.
Clint was asked on a scale of 1 to 10, how accurate was the sketch? And he said a 9, and that was the man who killed Summer.
With high hopes, the sketches quickly circulated to other police stations and to the media.
They kept showing his picture on the TV, and I thought, it's only a matter of days till they get him.
The murder has a chilling effect on the local community.
Residents were concerned that we had a killer on the loose in Putnam County. They were locking their doors, looking over their shoulder, more concerned that this man was out there, possibly walking around them.
Who is the mysterious shooter that cut Summer's life tragically short? Months earlier, her life seems destined for happiness. After her romantic engagement to Clint, they decide to move in together. Clint takes charge and finds them a nice apartment about an hour away in the town of Ormond Beach.
It seemed suddenly like everything started falling into place.
He would definitely go out of his way to take care of her son and wanting to be that father figure that he didn't have. And that made her even fall in love with him more.
To help pay for their new place, Clint takes a job delivering medical supplies. The money is good, but requires him to travel during the week.
He could see his children and be at his job and still spend the weekend with Summer.
I'll only be gone a couple days, all right?
The fact that Clint took on another job to show that he could take care of everybody in his growing family probably looked really attractive to Summer. This was a guy who wasn't bailing on anybody.
Although the separation is hard, Clint always finds ways to woo his lady.
He was always doing sweet things like leaving her little love letters.
I even got to read one of the notes. It says, "I love you more than life itself, and I can't wait to be your husband."
There's nothing more romantic than a handwritten love letter. It's putting down on paper by your own hand your feelings toward your lover. He was leaving a piece of him with her, even when he physically wasn't there, because he'd left all these symbols of his love for her.
While Clint travels, Summer plans their wedding. And she definitely has a vision of their perfect day.
It wasn't going to be a traditional wedding. She wanted to be simple, very pretty, natural flowers, and on the beach. She was buying the bridal magazines and started putting her sticky notes on dresses that she liked.
She wanted a pretty white dress that would be off the shoulders, and she would want pearls on her dress, but still flowy and kind of simple. She had long hair, and she wanted to wear it up, and of course, little white flowers.
Summer's dream of a wedding was untraditional, but it was meaningful. The fact that she wanted to be close to nature on a beach showed that she wanted to really have her feet down to earth when she married this man.
The happy couple holds off on setting a date until they can afford to pay for the wedding.
They didn't want their parents paying. They wanted to save up and pay for it themselves. It was showing what kind of responsibility these two people had.
For Summer, it's never too early to get her body wedding ready. She starts attending dance classes, a true passion she is thrilled to revive.
During the class, Summer smiled the entire time, came alive, loved those dances.
But a back injury brings Summer's dance lessons to a halt.
Yeah. You okay? Sure. Yeah, I'll be okay. I'll be fine. Thanks.
And not long after, Clint suddenly loses his job and devotes himself to caring for his fiancé.
He wanted to do everything himself. He wanted to be the one that could do it for her.
Here, lean forward.
What is it?
It's an orthopedic pillow.
Without any income, money is tight.
Clint, we can't afford orthopedic pillows.
And before long, the once happy couple is in constant disagreement.
I knew they were fighting just by their actions. I could tell by the looks she would give them.
I will take care of it. You all right?
It's hard to enter into a secure relationship when both of you are actually suffering financially. Remember, Clint is not just marrying Summer, he's marrying her child. This would have put a lot of pressure on Clint.
But he's resourceful and soon finds a way to pay the bills.
He was starting to borrow money off of his father, a lot of money.
He is making it work and promises Summer they'll soon be back on track.
Clint was doing everything he could to hold up a standard to her, to keep her happy.
But now, any hope of happiness has been cut short by a killer's bullet. Clint's TV appeal brings a lot of leads for police.
Anytime someone was behind a red pickup truck, they were getting a call saying, hey, I think I see the truck that you're looking for.
They follow up on every lead. With each hour that passes, their chances of finding the killer fade. The search for the gunman who killed Summer Chadwick is in full swing. A composite sketch of the potential killer brings in multiple leads.
Law enforcement eliminated each and every one of those potential suspects as not being involved, but didn't stop working the case, looking for the person that shot Summer.
As the police investigation grinds on, Summer's loved ones are left to cope with her death.
I was in such shock, I could not cry. It was like you're moving in slow motion, like you're not really there. This isn't really happening.
The day is especially difficult for Clint.
He was very hyper. He was all over the place.
Thank you so much.
He just kept talking. He just talked about how much he did for her. I did this for her and did that for her.
I bought that for her. I can't believe she's gone. I'm sorry.
He went up to the casket, threw himself on there. I thought, this is the strangest thing, but it was like, it wasn't even about him then, it was about her.
It seems a bit dramatic, but everyone has their own way of mourning. The only thing that might ease the grief is seeing Summer's killer brought to justice.
Hey, I think I know that guy.
Clint said Summer knew the gunman. Police hope looking deeper into her personal life will reveal a clue to his identity. At first glance, it's a storybook romance. But the deeper investigators dig, the more they uncover. Those fights about money were getting more and more intense.
Are you really sure we should be going out tonight, Clint? It's not like we can really afford it.
Summer, look, we can afford it, okay? Let's just go out and have fun.
What's more important, having fun or paying the rent?
Look, I pay the rent every month, don't I?
Planning a wedding with all the costs is stressful for any couple, but they're doing it at the time where they're dealing with survival money.
And that's why I do it every month.
Well, good.
This can cause so much stress within a relationship.
I know it's my job, and that's why I do it every month.
And she didn't like that there was fighting with her son around, and it wasn't near as comfortable as what it was at one time.
Look, Summer, I'm really sorry.
Whatever.
Clint's insecurities take hold.
This is the beginning of Clint starting to really have fear-based behavior that she was going to abandon him.
When she would get ready, he would sit by her side and watch her put on her makeup. He just would watch her every move.
He didn't want her really to look good. He didn't want anybody looking at her.
She had told me that he was jealous, that she had to, be careful where her head turned, or if she was looking away of another man.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe he sensed that she might walk now.
Are you serious?
Remember, this is a guy who had an abandoning mommy. So now he started to move into the other ways to prevent her from leaving, controlling her.
What, do you want to hook up with that guy?
Being vigilant about what she was wearing so that she wouldn't lure in another man who was going to steal her.
Let's just go.
And it's not just other men he's worried about.
He was very jealous of the family, how much everybody loved Summer. He did not want her to spend any time with her family at all.
He buys her a cell phone that she can only use to call him.
She has to have that phone on her so he can call and always find out where she is. He would always be checking the phones to see if she got any calls from anyone.
That's called an electronic leash. He was trying to keep her on a leash so he could figure out where she was at all times.
And that's when the tension starts to spill outside their home.
We happily walked out of the dance class.
Summer!
And Clint screamed at her.
Come here, get in this car now!
She lowered her head, meekly walked and got in the car. She was mortified. I never saw Summer again after that incident. She never came back to class.
It started to make Summer question whether she was making the right decision. If she should spend her life with this man, he started to not be the person that she thought he was or who she fell in love with.
Just before Thanksgiving, Summer stumbles upon some troubling information about her fiancé.
She had found out some deep, dark thing going on with Clint, and she couldn't tell me, but it was something she was very concerned about, and that was upsetting her a lot.
Her mom doesn't pry, but just a couple weeks later, the secret is still simmering.
Summer goes, just looking at him staring at me. He's so afraid I'm gonna say something. And I go, like what?
Nothing, he's just in a really bad mood. Look, I love you, Mom. Thanks. Thanks again.
And that's the last thing that she ever said to me.
Within 2 hours, Summer is murdered. Just days later, police get a call that changes everything. The caller is Kevin Stevens, Clint Horvat's friend of over 20 years, and the son of the man whose truck Clint was driving the day of the shooting.
So, Kevin, what is it you want to say to me?
I was watching the news, and I'm shaking my head the whole time and knowing in my heart that that ain't what happened. And the guilt come over me, and I just could not go on knowing what I know. I did it because I wanted justice for Summer.
At the station, Kevin drops a bombshell.
I think Clint had something to do with it. What's going on?
Clint come to me and asked me.
I need you to kill Summer for me. I'll pay you.
Are you crazy?
I was flabbergasted. He said, I guess I just can't afford her.
Literally costing me everything I had. She's so expensive.
Man,
I said, why don't you just leave her?
Yeah, I guess you're right, man. Look up. I was just kidding, man. Yeah. You know?
So I had actually thought I'd put some sense back in his head.
I'm not serious.
Anyway.
I never thought he would go through with something like that.
But when he hears about Summer's murder, he knows in his gut he was wrong.
I said he may have not have done it directly himself, but he had something to do with this shooting.
And then Kevin adds a key piece to the puzzle.
I also told him about him and Bill Foster hanging around together.
Police know exactly who Bill Foster is, and the red flags go up.
Bill Foster has always been in trouble with the law.
Kevin told us that the night that Clint borrowed his father's pickup truck, that Bill Foster was with him.
Sure, it brings back some gas.
What is Clint hiding from police? Detectives are determined to find out, and Kevin agrees to help. They tap his phones and ask him to call Clint.
I was hoping maybe me and you can get together and talk.
Clint agrees. so police outfit Kevin with a belt that has a camera and microphone hidden in the buckle.
What am I supposed to say to him? I mean, I don't know what.
I was very nervous because I had no idea what was fixing to happen.
What's up, man?
How's it going?
How you doing?
Wait a while.
He got out to ask me if I had a wire, and I said no, and he looked under my hat and asked me to pull my shirt up, and I did all that. And I was like, well, how you doing, you know? How you holding up? He said, I'm doing okay. He said, I just can't believe this happened.
We did a reenactment. One guy played Summer, the other guy played the shooter.
I said, well, Clint, I said, what did happen?
Wearing a wire, Kevin Stevens tries to get his best friend, Clint Horvat, to confess to having his own fiancée murdered.
I asked him, why did you do this, Clint?
One of the days where I never thought they'd really go through with it.
I was shocked.
Clint says, hey, have you seen me on the news? I'm a celebrity.
I'm on TV, I'm on everything. Yep, I'm a celebrity now. Yeah.
No idea law enforcement was on him.
Clint actually tells him that he was responsible for the murder of Summer Smith. The recording was a success.
Investigators bring both Clint and his alleged accomplice, Bill Foster, to the station. Bill denies any association with the crime. In another room, Clint sticks to his original story.
Give me your money.
All right, we know that you tried to get Kevin to do it.
We tell him that we know he had solicited Kevin to kill Summer.
Are you crazy?
I'm not crazy, man.
We also advise him that he had confessed to Kevin that he killed Summer.
Okay, it was Bill, but I had nothing to do with it. It was
Clint suddenly changes his tune and says Bill Foster shot Summer in a drug deal gone wrong.
Clint was very adamant that he had nothing to do with the shooting of Summer and was pointing the finger now at Bill. Clint tells us that he was waiting to tell police because he was hoping that Bill was going to come forward and do the right thing.
Bill Foster is determined not to take the fall alone.
Bill tells us everything. Clint had hired him to kill Summer Smith. He said Summer had information that she was getting ready to share and that Clint did not want that information getting out.
Clint wanted her taken care of. Bill had a suspended driver's license at the time. It was going to cost just over $500 to get back, so he asked Clint to please take care of that, and he'd take care of Clint's problem for him.
It's very despicable. I don't even have words to describe him.
You know, somebody intellectual and rational would say, I think I'll just walk away. I won't go through with this wedding.
Are you serious? Did you just check that?
No. This is the emotional brain at work. Clint has a huge rage inside.
Fine. And then Bill reveals what really happened the day of the murder. He says Clint called and told Bill where to wait on the side of the road. As they drove by, Clint told Summer they needed to pull over. And that's when Bill approached the passenger side of the car.
Summer is rolling down the window. He picks up the gun, points it at her, pulls the trigger. Clint takes his wallet and throws it to Bill and tells Bill to grab the purse before he's even back to the truck. Clint's speeding off.
Please hurry, please hurry. I'm going to have him there, okay? Just calm down for me, all right?
Oh, my God.
Bill tells police they can find the gun, Summer's purse, and Clint's wallet buried in a small creek near his house. Police find it all and also spot one more interesting piece of evidence in Bill's yard.
When they're looking at Bill Foster's truck, it's exactly as Clint had described, except it's black, not red.
Bill Foster and Clint Horvat are both arrested for the murder of Summer Smith.
I just remember that was the whole worst time of my life. Finding out that he was the one. I never, ever thought Clint could do something like that.
Clint has a very dark side of him that nobody knew about. It definitely wasn't the Clint that I grew up with.
So why did he do it? And what was Summer's secret about Clint? She never told anyone, and no motive was officially put forth in court. But insiders have their own theories.
Rumor has it he was having sex with a young girl. He was stealing money from his mother-in-law. If Summer would have went to the police with that, they probably would have taken his kids away from him. And that was probably enough that made him snap and do whatever he did.
I really think she was getting ready to leave him. And I think he said that if he can't have her, ain't no one gonna have her.
It takes jurors almost no time to convict both Clint and Bill of first-degree murder. They are both sentenced to life in prison without parole.
If you know the individual and you don't call in, you're just as guilty as him pulling the trigger.
Clint is a very manipulative man. He was evil. He had a goal, and he was not going to stop until he achieved it. That goal was to kill Summer.
I want him to think the rest of his life what he did, how he ruined all these lives, humiliated his parents, his family, broke the hearts of my whole family, his children's heart. He broke everybody's heart, and I don't want him to be able to forget that for a minute, what he's done.
Summer will always be loved and never forgotten.
So we look at pictures and we talk about her, and it makes us feel good to know that she's in a much better place.
I'm going to tell her son how much she adored him, and she felt very blessed to have him, and felt it truly gave her happiness.
Something's missing out of your heart, you know, and little things that my grandson does. I always say, why aren't you here to see this, Summer? I wish you were here to see this, what he's doing now. And sometimes I think maybe she can see me, maybe she can see what's going on.